Welcome to Caleb's Basketball Pod, episode 91. For this episode, we're going to, I'm recording Sunday night. It'll be released Monday morning. Let's talk about, we've had some games today, some interesting games. On Friday, we had some pretty good games on Friday, too. And we had a really good Memphis Grizzlies Minnesota Timberwolves game last night. So let's go through some of these games that we had the last few days, and see where we are. We had Paolo Banchero. We talked about that. Friday night he returned and put up. He had 34 points in his return on Friday night, and only 27 minutes of play. Very, very good return for him, but the Orlando Magic still suffered a 3-point loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis had 41, 14, and 4, and Dame Lillard put in 29. Big contributions from both Giannis and Lillard, and I think Giannis and Lillard are both playing really, really good basketball right now. I think that they're clicking together, and this is what we've been wanting from Milwaukee. This is what we've been looking for. We're finally hitting that stride together. I just don't think the roster around them is good enough to really go somewhere, really compete. Just in my opinion, I think they need a better bench, and I do think they need a forward kind of scorer, controller of the game. Like Chris Middleton's not that guy anymore. They need that forward player, in my opinion, to really go somewhere. It's about another interesting game that happened on Friday. The Sacramento Kings went into Boston and won 114-97 without De'Aaron Fox. Now, as I've mentioned on my last couple podcasts, they are playing better with Doug Christie as the head coach. Mike Brown was struggling coaching them. I don't really think it was Mike Brown. I just think they needed a change of scenery. They got more energy. They're playing harder. The defense has been better. Everything's going better with Doug Christie at the helm. But winning in Boston by 17 points without De'Aaron Fox, that's surprising. Derek White had 3 points, not good at all, and Drew Holiday had 5. You most definitely, if you're Boston, you want to get back to that championship level that you had last year. And it's still a really good team. I don't know if they're maybe just not playing as hard and wanting to get done with the regular season and try and rush it through. But they're just not playing great basketball right now. Decent basketball, just not great. They're a lot better than a team to lose to the Kings in Boston by 17. As for the Sacramento Kings, as I mentioned, they're putting it together, and they're starting to play really good basketball. So I mentioned the Nuggets-Nets game because Russell Westbrook and Jokic both put up a triple-double in that game. That's impressive to have two teammates put up 20-point triple-doubles each. And then today, as the Nuggets rallied and beat the Dallas Mavericks, which again still don't have Luka or Kyrie, Jokic had a triple-double. Russ had a near triple-double, but 21, 10, and 7. Russell Westbrook is having a really good comeback year for the Denver Nuggets, and I'm down for it. I'm happy to see him playing like this. Friday night, what also happened was the Thunder went into Madison Square Garden and just dismantled the Knicks. I was not expecting that. I thought that game would be a close one and a clutch finish at the end, but it just wasn't. The Knicks, after the 9-game win streak ended, they were struggling to find that again. They lost a few straight. But all in all, I just think they'll be fine. I do think they need a little bit more of a bench, and I think Tom Thibodeau needs to use that bench more. And I think Mitchell Robertson, when he gets back and when he's healthy, and it's supposed to be sometime this month, will really, really help the defensive side for New York. But the Knicks had a bounce-back victory today. They played the Milwaukee Bucks today and won by 34 points, 140-106. Jalen Brunson had 40-some points. Big game for them. Speaking of the Kings, they won again by beating the Chicago Bulls by 5 points. And as we talk right now, as I'm on here, the Oklahoma City Thunder are up 31 points on the Washington Wizards. That is not at all surprising, but just like the Wizards, I don't know. I think they need just a complete restart. Alexander Stars, really, he is coming into his own, but I don't think he's the face of your franchise. I still think you need to find and draft the face of your franchise, and I'm sure with this rebuild, that's what you're looking for. And maybe you're hoping you get the number 1 pick and you get Cooper Flagg, and maybe he's the face of your franchise. Maybe he's what you build your team around. So that'll be interesting to see where that goes. I also want to talk, like I said, about that Minnesota Timberwolves Memphis Grizzlies game. Couple observations I've seen from that. Anthony Edwards, 17 points. Minnesota ends up losing 127 to 125. Anthony Edwards wants to be that superstar. And I hope he is. I mean, I hope he's a superstar one day. But the thing is, I just don't see it. I see a lot of inconsistent play. You heard him last week complaining about being double teamed too much, saying he's young and he really don't want to play like this and this and that. It's just immaturity. And yes, he is young and he has time to get mature, but if he's the face of your franchise, you don't want to hear him complaining about having to pass the ball. You want him to make teammates better. How does he make teammates better if he's complaining when he has passed the ball? You have to go into that double team, respect that double team, know where that double team's coming from, know who's open, give them the ball. Once you give them the ball enough and they're knocking down shots, you're not going to get double teamed as much, or maybe anymore, because they can't leave that guy. You have to make your teammates better if you don't want that double team. Did LeBron James or Chris Paul go off saying, I don't want to be double teamed, I don't want to be double teamed? No. Why? Because they were the superstar of their team. Anthony Edwards, if he wants to be the superstar of his team, he has to take that double team or do what Kobe did, score over top of a double team. But either way, you have to do one way or the other. You can't complain about the double team, because if I hear you complaining about a double team, I'm going to double you that much more because you don't like it. And I know it's throwing you off your game and you're not happy having to be a facilitator. So that's just, there's a lot of immaturity I see with Anthony Edwards, a lot of inconsistency I see with Anthony Edwards, and the way that Minnesota Timberwolves team is built, I don't even see them getting out of a first round of the playoffs. Now let's flip it to Memphis. Last night, Ja Morant did not have a good game. 12 points, but he was the go-to player when they needed buckets at the end of the game. He scored, I believe, the final 4 points, and Memphis won the game, and he had the game-winning teardrop, kind of fadeaway teardrop. But nonetheless, Ja Morant showed up when you needed him. Like I said, not at all a good game from him, and we know he's capable of doing much better. But we also saw an exciting finish between two really young teams. And the Memphis Grizzlies are playing really good basketball. I do think they need to figure it out. I don't know if that's adding another vet or maybe a fourth star to go alongside Jalen and Ja Morant. But I do think they need something else before the championship contender. They also have to get out of the first round of the playoffs. They have it. They don't. Every year they make the playoffs or so, they're eliminated in the first round. I need to see growth. I need to see them. It's one thing to be 1, 2, or 3, top 3 in the West, but if you're ending every season and never getting out of the first round of the playoffs, it don't mean anything. So that's just my observation on it. Take it however you will, but I do think Memphis I still think they're missing something. I think they're missing a consistent scorer. As I mentioned, Ja only had 12. You need your star to give you more than 12, especially when he has been the guy for them. You really don't need 12-point games from him. But he'll get there. And we all know how talented Ja is, but I do think he needs someone that can take some of that pressure on hitting clutch shots and ISOing and scoring towards the end of a game when you need buckets. Besides Ja, I don't really see anyone else like that on Memphis, but we'll see. Also, Marcus Smart, when he was playing before he got injured, he was getting much playing time, so I'm not sure what that's about. But I know as the trade deadline nears, if Memphis ain't going to use him, there's a lot of teams that will want Marcus Smart because he is a very, very intelligent defensive and just smart basketball player. But anyway, that's it for this episode. I will see you guys on Wednesday. And keep tuning in. We're going to really work on trying to get more guests on here. And I'll see you next episode.